the games begin. The Clipsal 500 is now just 1 week away. The off-season tinkering is almost done, and another frantic season is about to explode into action on the streets of Adelaide. Today on V8 Extra, we explore the relationship between Jamie Whincup and Will Davison. On track, they get into it. Off track, they're mates. Mark Larko steps back into the garage to explain some of the critical rule changes affecting this year's competition. And we'll cross to Matt White in the newsroom for all the latest news. That's all ahead today on V8 Extra.
Hi everybody, welcome again to V8 Extra. Great to have your company today. Well, next weekend, our first event of the season, the Clipsal 500. We've got a preview show for you today. We've been going to the Clipsal 500 in Adelaide since back in 1999 with V8 Supercars, and over the years we've seen some ripper races. In fact, you could really echo that statement all the way back to 1985 when Formula One first came to town. It is a great venue. And over the years, some very high quality motor races. Think about Scaife and Lowndes 2001. Another great race last year on the Sunday in the wet. A great battle between Jamie Whincup and Will Davison. And earlier, I had a chance to sit down and have a talk to them about it.
So this is race 4 of the championship. Will Davison starts on pole position.
And get ready here. This is wild.
Jamie, Will, welcome to V8 Extra.
Yep.
Let's wind the clock back near enough to 12 months and the Clipsal 500 Sunday, wet, early in the season, and you two mates are hard at it.
Look how much water is on the track. We're here at Whincup. How did he control it?
We're in the commentary box having kittens, and it was one of the great moments of Clipsal 500 motor racing, so I mean, it was awesome. What was it like from your perspective?
Well, it was crazy conditions, wasn't it? It was unbelievable. So I think both of us were just trying to keep it on the black stuff.
Oh! Sideways, almost full opposite lock.
12 laps in, here we are swapping the lead about 6 times. But it was good respect, so we were actually having a bit of fun.
Here's a move down the inside for Jamie. Turn 4. Davison argues as they make their way side by side through 5. Gives him space. Great exchange.
Obviously a tough battle, and as Will said, it was a weird scenario because it's such early days, you know. You can't win the race in the first 10 laps, but with the track drying, it was important to get track position.
Dice for the lead changes again. Jamie Whincup has rounded up Will Davison.
Will Davison back down the inside of Whincup.
So refreshing though, like we were having a full-on battle and it was just dog eat dog, but he knew I wasn't going to have him, or I knew he wasn't going to have me off on the exit of a corner, and I think the respect was mutual. So it was one of those good classic battles that took me back to go-karts, really, I must admit.
It's a bit closer this time, Will, so he'll have a crack. Overtaking line's wet, the racing line's dry. So that's what makes that pass very tough.
Will makes it stick this time around.
We've been doing that a long time, so it was the speed difference in the cars. 1 minute he's quicker, next minute I'm quicker, and we weren't being silly like you guys said to us on the TV. We were just like, hey, I'm quicker, and we just kept taking it in turns, basically.
Always looks worse from the outside though. You blokes are in total control.
I was pretty hairy in there, mate. It was a bit out of control a couple of times.
He's still pulling his shifty moves off like he did back in the day.
There's the bump, there's the bump.
No,
he was the one who found the grip outside that curve out of turn 7. That was good.
I
copied that.
It was all good. They'll probably ban that this year. They'll probably say no more outside line anymore.
The really cool thing here is that there's great respect, great mateship, but your opponents, your professionals, one's heavily dressed in blue, one's heavily dressed in red, but you somehow make it work.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing it since we were tiny little kids, and like some of our best memories are like the City of Melbourne titles in rookies when we were 11 or 12 years of age, and the intensity of those battles as a young kid, I mean, your life depended on it. So as Jamie said, I mean, he used to do some shifty little moves and I probably did as well. I don't know, we've done that the whole way through our career, and it's absolutely no different now.
I have to jump in there. We need to take a break. We're looking forward to seeing the boys on the streets of Adelaide next weekend with their new war paint on. Stay with us. More from Jamie and Will after the break.
What a performance from this band. There's something truly special about this guy when he's at the top of his game. And yet again a standing ovation as he makes history here at Clipsal.
Welcome back to V8 Extra, and it's the Clipsal 500 preview show today. The big gig in Adelaide next weekend to mark the start of the V8 Supercars Championship Series. It's going to be another huge year right here on 7. Well, at this time of the year, all of the teams are frantic trying to get all the gear ready for the start of a brand new season, including the boys here at Team Vodafone, #1 on Jamie Whincup's car this year. And we found a quiet moment to catch up with Jamie and his mate Will Davison to talk about their mega battle at the Clipsal 500 last year and their odd couple relationship.
What about the phase in your life where you actually lived together, which is a little bit of a distant memory now? We used to mention it on the television a bit, and you had a great championship battle in 2009, but I want to know more about when you two were hanging out together. I want to know more about the truth. I want all the low stories. I want all the backroom stuff, and everybody at home wants it too.
We'll switch the camera off and we can have a good chat about all that. But we had some good times, didn't we? I mean, we lived together on the Gold Coast, obviously, when we both moved to 888 and Dick Johnson Racing. But I mean, we'd been mates for a long time back in Melbourne. Even when I was racing in Europe, I'd come home and he'd sleep on the floor, and you know, we got up to all sorts of mischief over the years.
How long did you live together?
Almost 2 years, wasn't it?
Oh, no, it was 2.5, wasn't it? Oh, 2. No,
Yeah, a couple of years, couple of rental places, and then Will actually, you invested. Will brought a house, so I moved in there.
Wily businessman.
Yeah, I moved in there and rented off him for about 6 months there.
Yeah. Who cooked? Who washed? Who did stuff? Who didn't do stuff?
I won't lie.
Who cooked, Willard?
J-Dub.
Yeah.
He cooked the proper meals. I whipped up the odd egg in the microwave.
Yeah.
No.
Some real classy stuff.
I started getting there, didn't I?
Yeah, it was good.
So what's a good J-Dub meal look like?
Geez, what, plenty of meat sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Plenty of veggies, actually.
Gravy.
No, he does. He was always about, this is years ago, and I'll be nice to him here. Before, 2006, we're two young whippets, and we're thinking, how on earth are we going to establish ourselves in this category? And, we both worked hard, and I saw the work Jamie put in back then to all areas. He'd have plenty of fat in his food, but he'd have plenty of brain food because he just wanted his brain to be on the ball. And he worked and worked and worked. And I'm absolutely not surprised with the success he's had. And I've had a bit, not as much as I'd like, but we pushed each other hard and worked hard, and I'm least surprised of anyone because we put in big efforts, particularly J-Dub.
What if you had the same colours on? What if you're in the same team? That'd be an interesting combination.
That'd work.
I reckon it would now. I mean, he's had enough success, hasn't he, over the years?
So you reckon you should make it a bit equitable and make it fair and share it?
You reckon I'm going to back off a bit, do you? Just chill
I don't
out?
think he'll ever back off. He doesn't know that word, actually.
Hey guys, we're on the eve of next weekend, Clipsal 500, huge season. There's a lot of work involved in this thing, and we all like to have fun with it and talk up the camaraderie, but it's warfare. It's really hard work. About an hour into that Saturday race next week, you'll be burning, thinking, that extra pie and beer over the summer, that was a waste of time.
Yeah. I think every driver's thinking that at the moment because the last couple of years we've had a really good warm-up over at Abu Dhabi. So you get in, you iron out all the dramas, and you have a really good time to just cut some laps in the car, get used to the heat in some way, and then you're okay for Clipsal. But we're going to go back to the days where it's round one. Dudes are passing out in cars, that's back now, and that's the reality of it. So,
We can't wait for it to get started. You're champion blokes. We appreciate the time today. Have a great weekend next weekend, and good luck both of you for the championship season. See whether you can arm wrestle a result between you.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have some good battles this year.
Yeah. Thanks, Willard.
It's going to be good fun.
You talked me up there. It's not good.
I'm going to smash him this year, though. I'm going to try. In a good way.
Yeah, good way.
Jamie and Will go head-to-head next weekend. Can't wait for it to get started. We'll take a break now on V8 Extra. When we come back, we meet the man at the helm of your sport. Welcome back to V8 Extra, our Clipsal 500 preview show today. Well, with Jamie Whincup wrapping up the championship and all of the noise surrounding the Car of the Future launch at the Sydney Telstra 500 last year, the announcement of the new CEO for V8 Supercars was somewhat drowned out. So this week, I had a chance to catch up and have a chat. Well, David, congratulations on the appointment.
Thank you, Neil. Great to be here.
How does a guy who's got a deep media background suddenly become involved in being the Chief Executive Officer of a sport like this?
Yeah, look, it's a fair question. From my background at originally at Channel 9 and then at Fox Sports for the last 10 or 11 years, I got to, I guess, watch the V8s develop, and I was always really impressed with the franchise and the way that it was developing. And I guess when I was looking for my next step or the next stage of my career, I thought it would be a very, very good opportunity. Of course, V8's doing their own television production and other content is a fairly natural fit for me. And I think with the media deal that we've got coming up, I think there's certainly a lot that I can bring to the table, and it was very comfortable.
What are the challenges? I mean, it's easy to look at the upside of our balance sheet. There's plenty of good things, but what are the challenges? What are the things that you'd like to attack to make the sport better for basically for the fans that are behind us here?
Well, look, I think we're working in a pretty tough economic environment. All businesses are at the moment, so it's being smarter about how we do things. It's looking at the way we invest, the way we spend money. The business seems to be fairly focused on that already, but it's something that I think we need to continue to focus on. And then on the flip side is it's how we continue to engage the fans. At the end of the day, this sport is about the people who love the V8 Supercars. It's about improving the product and making it accessible to them. And I think from my background in media, it's something that I do have an understanding of, and I think we can do a lot of interesting things around making the sport more accessible. We've got a great free-to-air television partner, we've got subscription partners, we've got new media partners. Going forward over the next 5 years, the way that media is going to evolve, I think there's lots of opportunities for us to further engage with the fans and let them enjoy the sport in many, many more ways.
Our fans regard this sport as their sport. Very possessive, very passionate. In fact, passion is a real key word in the whole V8 supercar business. The assurance for them is that it's in good hands, you know where you want to go, you're not going to break it, you're not going to take it away from them.
Not at all. I mean, I came from an organisation called Fox Sports, and passion around that particular brand was very evident amongst their fans and their viewers. And I see V8s in a very, very similar way. We have a very passionate group of fans out there who love the sport and have loved the sport for many years. The opportunity now is just to continue to sort of provide them with a great level of excitement and entertainment. And I think that's going to be something that we can achieve.
David Malone there, the new CEO for V8 Supercars Australia. Well, every year the rules in this game are subtly massaged to try and make a better show. With that in mind, to bring us up to speed, here's Larko.
Some years ago, they introduced a rule into V8 Supercars under the guise of cost containment, which allowed you to use only 2 guys and 2 rattle guns in a sprint race tyre stop. Now, the way they police that, as we know, we have a line across the front of our pit garages. They allow 6 guys out there. Now, what we also know of those 6 guys, you have to have a car controller. He's the lollipop man at the front of the car. He has to stay there. We have an air spike man, the guy that puts his spike in here and raises the car. He has to stay at his station. We have a refuelling guy, and we also have a fireman. So by default, of your 6 guys, you're left with 2. And with only 2 rattle guns, they have to do the stop. Now, when you look at the vision of the stop, you can see there's all sorts of combinations, but what it is, it's very difficult for those 2 guys because sometimes they will do rear tyres, sometimes they'll do one side of the car if it's a clockwise or anti-clockwise predominant circuit, sometimes they'll do diagonal tyres. Typically takes about 9 or 10 seconds for 2 guys to do 4 tyres. Now, what they worked out pretty quickly is this was getting tough because these 2 guys, if we just have a look, V8 Supercar wheel and tyre. Now, tyre's about 10 kilos, wheel's about 10 kilos. Here's the rattle gun they've already used, that's about 4. Now, I'm a pretty tough guy, let me tell you, but that, to lift up and throw at the car, is damn hard work. You've got to be full of adrenaline to do it. So that was putting a lot of strain on the guys to do that turn, run up there, do it again. So during the back half of last year, you might recall, they allowed a helper, a guy to actually help lift the wheel, put it on so the guy could drill it with the gun. Now, they soon worked out with a fuel guy here and an air spike man here to get from there to there with 2 guys, it got very busy and arguably maybe even a little dangerous. So what they said, what the heck, let's go to full endurance spec rule, which I reckon is great. Now, what that means is 8 guys are now across the line and 4 rattle guns. So now we've got 4 guys free to do our tyre stops. Now, again, much, much quicker, about 3.5 seconds to do 4 tyres. Now, that's great news. That's not only going to look great in the telecast, plenty going on, but what it is going to do, it's going to throw the strategy that they've been doing into the abyss. For those that you have been watching the telecast, you notice on a lot of them are whiteboards. We often talk about when they do two fuel stops, they're often about 10 or 12 seconds, which fits in really nicely with a tyre stop. So that's gone. The other thing it's going to do is 3.5 seconds. Now, these guys, 4 guys, are going to be freed up to do mechanical things on the car. That's great news. So if the driver's got a drama, oil on his windscreen, foggy visor, damage to his exhaust, whatever it might be, they can attend that in the next 5 or 10 seconds they've got while the fuel's going in. But most of all, the bit I like, remember 10 soft tyre races, this year. That's good news, because if you're sitting in the driver's seat and your team manager comes on and says, we've just given you a splash of fuel, 4 new soft tyres, you're good to go, well, bring that on.
Thanks, Mark. Larko will be flat out in the pit lane next weekend with Mark Beretta covering all the action. Of course, he'll be back in the Tech Centre too, covering all the technicalities of our sport throughout the new season 2012. We'll take a break now on V8 Extra. When we come back, all the latest Big Pond Sport news. Stay with us.
Here he has another look. The red wide on the way out of 7.
Maximum speed, 245 clicks an hour.
We're in full countdown mode. We're hungry for some racing. Welcome back to V8 Extra. Well, the tennis is done. He's looking all rested. He's back in the newsroom, all bright and shiny, ready for another year back in the commentary box. Matthew, bring us up to speed with all the news chat.
Thanks very much, Crompo. Isn't it great to be back, and great to see you as well. So let's get into it. Let's hook into the new year with a sneak peek at Greg Murphy's look for the upcoming Clipsal 500. I got to tell you, it is mean and it's green. Now, the Pepsi Max crew will mix it up with a range of liveries during the year, just like they did last year. There'll be 3 more changes this season, so keep your eyes peeled for car 51. Well, Winton was a busy place last Monday, where all of the local teams, bar Ford Performance Racing, hit the track to test. But after just 45 minutes, the rain came tumbling down, leaving teams paddling around and without much dry running time. Well, the newly sponsored development series, the Dunlop Series, begins in Adelaide next weekend. Got some great news for you. For the first time, it will form part of our Clipsal 500 coverage right here on 7. We'll show you race 2 on Saturday, the first of 9 races we'll show on our main telecast. And that is Big Pond Sport News Extra for now.
Thanks, Matty. Look forward to catching up with you in Adelaide. Well, as I said before, the Clipsal 500 is a very special event. It's got a unique character on and off the track, and to get us all revved up at the prospect of the streets of Adelaide coming alive once again, we've been trawling through our library and we've dug out some special memories.
The first time for the Adelaide 500. Away we go! Oh, big crash here. Danny Osborne in the colour-scared Falcon. Oh, he's not a happy chappy. Oh, he wants to rip into John Briggs too. Craig Lowndes is behind him. Whoa, oh, the wheels come off. Craig Lowndes takes out the Adelaide 500. Oh, look at that. He is severely dehydrated. Yeah.
Mark, that is the second to go for the day. And Mark, maybe they're starting to take their toll. He's actually collapsed. He tried to get out of the car straight away.
Poor young Rick, he had the flu.
Into the tyre wall. Russell's his way past. He's got him. Lowndes has got Seaton. That's a brilliant move.
Oh, this is Brad Jones.
That's a big rollover.
And they go. Whoa, whack. They were jumping the curves, and Canada was a
in the wall. Oh, in goes one of the team dynamics.
Big contact again. Oh, that's the end of Jason Bark-Warnick.
He's now driving the car.
Here he comes. Wow! The entry wrong.
Chaos, there's chaos.
He's got skate on his hammer, and one of the Fujitsu cars has turned around, and Courtney is in his second major accident in as many days.
2 by 2 through there.
Murphy in the wall.
No.
Murphy and skate. 2 cars don't fit. That's where the connection started. Crunch. Oh!
Craig Lowndes takes out the Clipsal 500. Checkered flag, last place to first. Well done to Mark Scape.
For the defending series champion, Mark Scape is the man. starting about as well as you can. Whincup wins for the first time.
Jamie Whincup.
Nice work, J-Dub. Nice work. Awesome.
With the number 1 on the door. And Garth Tander has them on their feet. The stands are roaring. They can't believe what they're seeing.
Great motor race.
Well, I'm a little bit punch drunk after watching that one. We've had plenty of action on the streets of Adelaide over the years, and that is where we shall be next weekend. Full coverage on 7, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. The Clipsal 500, races 1 and 2 of our brand new championship season for 2012. And our next V8 Extra, looking forward to this one, we'll be bringing you the program from the pit paddock at the Clipsal 500 on Saturday. All of the news and gossip, everything that's going on backstage. It'll be heaps of fun. Have the whole gang there. That's our program for today. Hope you've enjoyed it. Look forward to your company again next weekend. Bye for now.